Hey guys, real quick, fun one today. We're heading to pick up a new project. It's gonna take 2 trips, but thankfully it's 3 miles from the house. So let's go get it. Here it is in all its glory, 1940 Chrysler Crown Imperial. All right, first trip is gonna be the loose bits. Let's get it loaded up. So I thought I'd just record a few of the obvious bits. So here we're loading up the fenders, bumpers. A lot of these parts were just loose on the ground around the car, which is fine. Radiator, and then the green tote has like brake pedals. This had, you know, below the floor mounted hydraulics. Just a quick, easy trip. I probably could have got it in 1 trip, but this just seemed a little. Again, it was so close, it just didn't even matter. So 75X, but we're just rolling through the nice scenic. It's not a bad way to spend a Friday late morning, really. Go down to the consignment auction. It was a little crowded. This guy was really helpful in tugging the car forward to get it better lined up with the trailer. Just a little too congested. The forklift, or rather the skid steer operator on site, was pretty good, helped me chain it up onto the car, saved me quite a bit of effort there. So here we are, 3 miles later, we're back at home and ready to get the car unloaded. So a little hokey, but use the chain as like a manual choker just to drop it off. It does have the pedal assembly, the 4 pedal assembly. Trim. So yeah, get this reboxed into better boxes and push this pig inside. Such a cool piece. I'll set up a camera and start putting some of this stuff up on the shelf. Gas tank looks to be in pretty good shape. Best I can tell anyway. Like somebody's either put a drain fitting in, or not exactly sure here, but it is better than nothing. Yeah, let's take you guys through. We got the suicide doors. I've got the interior emptied out so we can take a look. This thing was, in its day, pretty nice. Heated seats, see the fan, and then the heat exchanger, the rubber line going to the front. Let's see, windows are bare. I'm sorry, door panels are bare. Floor is the most rough in this area. I think this low spot just held moisture right here. This side, pretty rotted. That side, not bad. And then the spare tire holder collected moisture and just rusted away to nothing. So everything kind of from this area up, with exception of this inner wheel well, looks to be in pretty good shape. Interestingly enough, there's no roof structure. Literally just 1 layer. So this is, as my wife put it, this is a convertible with a sheet metal top. And she's not wrong. You can see here, I think a little better where the frame had been cut and modified. We got the cross member here, what I think is a 904. That's solid mounted, which is typically a no-no on tail housings, even with solid motor mounts. Chassis flex will break tail housings off, so I'm told. Anyway, that's coming out, no big deal. Not positive. I think the drivetrain is out of a Dodge Diplomat also, although I'm gonna check the bolt pattern and see, but it's got 14s, and also the wheelbase is just a little off here, so gonna need to move the axle forward. Very unlikely that we stay with leaf springs. We've got quite a bit of wheel well to work with here. If you've been following along, I kind of want to throw the 19s off the Buick on this thing. just to see. It came with 4 hubcaps, and oh, that's heavy. So trunk lid in decent shape for what it is, and yeah, rust around the gas tank straps, but the rest of the floor is probably savable, salvageable. We'll see how much ends up being kept or how much gets cut away. Really just in love with this silhouette. Such a cool looking car. The size is really hard to show. The distance though, this is, you know, limousine style, right? So this would be the front of the back seat, and then your front seats would be up here. So you could, lots of room for activities. Door latches are a little sticky. We get down in here and you see that we're gonna find some stuff. But this isn't gonna be concourse. This is gonna be more vice grip garage than anything else. So let's see if I get a close up on the gauges. Pretty cool. Like, imagine what they used to look like. I'll see if I can find some images on the internet of a, you know, restored version, but pretty cool. All right, so why are we looking at a 1940 Chrysler Crown Imperial? Well, to answer that, we've got to step back just a little bit. My wife has been talking about, you know, how cool would it be to have a farm truck to go along with our, you know, hobby farm situation of, you know, like a late 40s, early 50s Chevy pickup truck. I've got a few examples that we had looked at over time of, you know, patina trucks, or this beautiful green 4x4 that is a 1950 3100. I think that one sold at Mecum for some ridiculous amount of money. Like, the point was, these were all almost unreachable in terms of cost, at least at my budget level. So we've been looking at some alternatives, and I'm pretty sure she was heavily influenced by the little blue truck, you know, the pretty awesome story we read to our girls when they were little. Anyway, I'm sure she's always wanted a farm truck, but this car shows up at an auction just down the road, and I see it, you know, light blue, her favorite color, and I'm like, maybe she'll like this. It's 4-door. It's, you know, I think it's really cool, especially the silhouette from the back with the sloped, like, back glass hatch area. Technically family friendly, so I used that as like a swaying element that, you know, we could pack the girls in it and go cruise around. So did that work? I don't know. I think, you know, looking at some examples of these things that I could find, this is a slightly newer body style, but white walls lowered, these cars just look gangster. So here it is in all its glory. Thankfully, thankfully she agreed, and so here it is at home, you know, stripped apart with, I think most of the parts are there. It was obviously somebody's project that, you know, was excited to work on it. They had, from what I can tell, I'm getting a little off topic here, but here's the factory front suspension. You see the coil spring, and then upper and lower, I think this would technically be just a SLA short, long arm suspension, so pretty decent rear steer setup. Based on the length of these things, and these things have an enormous wheelbase, it's like 140 inches, give or take, so depending on whether it's the limo version or not, I think this one's 137 inches, which is longer than a Chevy Suburban, so this thing is very lengthy. If you notice, based on the axle center line, I think this is technically mid-engine, so that's kind of cool. But this is what it was originally, and then if we look at this one, it's been swapped with a torsion bar system, I think out of like a Dodge Diplomat or Chrysler Fifth Avenue, something like that. Late 70s, really early 80s body style. So all that to say, I'm not tied to any of that, but clear title, most of the glass, and all the body, this could be really fun. So The wife agrees, she's excited. This is the view from the driver's seat, best I can tell. And if I have anything else to show, here's a AI rendering of exactly what I'm thinking about, probably Raptor line, the stuff down low. This isn't, you know, an exact match by any means, but keep the blue, clean up the chrome as best you can, big smoothies, white walls. Yeah, something with a big cam in it that sounds good, and go cruise around. So that was a really fun week. Super excited for a project. There's nothing better than a new project until you get it home and you're like, man, this is gonna be a lot of work. And this one, it fits the bill. There's so many parts. I ordered a chassis manual, or a body and chassis service manual off eBay. I think it's gonna be worth $35 just to have some kind of record of how things went together. Especially when this is a hodgepodge. You know, this car's pretty old, 75 years old, so it's seen some things, and it's had a lot of different owners over the years. Funny little tidbit, so when the title paperwork went through, I recognized the last name, and I reached out to a friend and former coworker, and he said it was his father's car, that he had owned it for about 10 years in a barn, never did anything with it. So I don't think he did any of the current work on the car. I think he bought it kind of as is and then never got around to it. So be fun to bring this one back to life. It's gonna be good, so stick around. Not a fast project by any means, and it's definitely not number one on the list, but it came up, and it was I have a problem. No more auctions for me. So stick around, like, comment, subscribe. I think I said that already. And I'm gonna end this one here this week, and I have a few some bonus round stuff that I'll attach at the end of the video. But otherwise, thanks, and we'll see you guys next week. Awesome. Just kind of a silly one. I always find myself reaching for the same things, such as safety glasses, tape measure, utility knife, and of course earmuffs. And my thinking is always, the more accessible you make these things, the better. So it's on a little standoff here, mounted off the wall, but Mr. Viking guy, not scary at all. If he scares me one time, I'm taking him down. Anyway. Just a quick update in the dirty room. I've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barn style can lights mounted. These are the bread pans painted black with the LED flush mount, I think 6-inch diameter bulbs. Really lights up this area. This workbench I never really worked at because I didn't have good light, and then because of the garage door, this became a dark spot, so tied off the same circuit as these two lights here, added these 5, and then continued over, and I added 2, and I'm kicking myself. They're a different temperature bulb. I didn't catch that when I bought them, but 2 16-inch flush mount, or surface mount I should say. Light fixtures here to light up my pallet racking workbench for in the shop. So if I back up a little bit, just a nice, better lit area there. And yeah, quite a bit better in this. I'm just gonna show this with this light off real quick, just to give a little better feeling of the, whoa. Yeah, well lit, not well lit. So, cool. All right, back to the shop.